Okay, so as this is Sandra 18-Wheeler Hester. I'm reporting from the big southern plantation called New Orleans, Louisiana. Don't worry about the direction in which I'm looking. I'm tired, and I've been attending a trial, the Henry Glover second trial. Was a story where 4 days after Hurricane Katrina, rogue NOPD officers were shooting and killing people who were just trying to survive after Katrina. So I've been attending this trial in federal district court in New Orleans, and actually the second Henry Glover trial. I'll figure out which way to look in a minute. So I'll just look like I'm looking off into the sunset, because that's where I really like to ride off into. So when you go into the courtroom, it's kind of like a wedding. There's like the bride side and the groom side. So as soon as you walk in the courtroom, on the left are the family members, the friends, attorneys of other road cops that have already been tried, have their cases up on appeal, will be tried in the future, whatever. NOPD, the New Orleans Police Department, has been corrupt since its inception. And they have killed more innocent people and guilty people, but it wasn't their job to be judge, jury, and executioner, than you can shake a stick at. We'll never know. The Henry Glover was shot by a rogue NOPD officer, David Warren, by an assault rifle 4 days after Katrina. Shot in the back while fleeing. So you walk in the courtroom, and the community people are on the right, and Henry Glover's family's over there, and the press is interspersed throughout on both sides, and just curious people come by and they, watch the trial. So there was this, and then David Warren is white, Henry Glover's black. So there's this white man who's been looking at me for the last 3 days that has been sitting on the cop side. And hey, this man didn't do anything to me. I didn't do anything to him. So when a person looks at me, if they smile, I smile. If they speak, I speak. I'm not mad at particular individuals. I'm not mad at anybody. I just want their justice to be served. And I want to be an eyewitness to history. This is our modern day Emmett Till, whatever. And I could tell that the man has been wanting to say something to me for the last 3 days. So today he works up the nerve. I'm out in the hallway trying to grab a bite off a sandwich. I'm diabetic, and I hadn't had a meal all day, and it's like 1 in the afternoon. And we had a little, I wouldn't say a recess in court, but the judge and the attorneys were either at the bench or they were in chambers. And the jury wasn't in there, so one of the ladies convinced me to go outside and just try to get a couple of bites or something so I wouldn't fall ill. So I guess it makes this story in a sense a little funnier, because when a fat black woman is scrounging for food, that's not the time you really want to have a conversation with her. So I'm out there looking in this bag, trying to get some remnants of somebody else's lunch. And the man walks up to me, doesn't say, "Excuse me, may I say something to you?" He thinks I'm a family member of Henry Glover when I'm a community activist just there observing the proceedings. And he walks up to me and he says, "I just want to tell you that I'm sorry about what happened to your loved one. We've been praying for you, your family. But we just want David." I'm a friend of David. He said 4 sentences. And I'm a friend of David. And we just want him to come home and be with his family. And I'm like, something inside of me said, "Ow," like Scooby-Doo. "Ow, what did you?" And then I heard the clicking sound that it means it's time for you to go back in the courtroom. I didn't even get to get a bite off the sandwich. So I looked at the man and I said, obviously not having processed what he just said. And I said, well, I really appreciate you saying that. And wrapped the bag up and went back in the courtroom. And then I sat there. You ever have a delayed reaction to something? You ever have somebody say something to you and in about 5 minutes you realize they just insulted you, but you didn't know it at the time, so you didn't have a good comeback or whatever? So on the way home, and then there was some shenanigans going on in the trial. And so while I'm sitting on the back bench, hungry as a mug, trying to, part of my brain was my left side, maybe, I don't know what side, trying to process what the manager said, and the judge is talking, and he's saying, we've dismissed the juror, and y'all get to go home, because this, that, and the other, and my head is about to explode. So on the way home, I was given a ride home, this bunch of ladies, not us in the car, and I said, y'all not going to believe what this man told me. This white man from the other side tells a black woman his friend has shot with an assault rifle in the back, a 31-year-old black man. And this, I don't mean to make this about race. I'm not playing the race card. I'm going to play the whole deck right now. And he says, he approaches a big fat, good thing he didn't know I was hungry, black woman. And he says to her, in essence, I'm sorry about what happened to y'all family member, but we want my boy to go home. Now, if I'd have had an assault rifle at the time, I'd have popped the cap in his ass. That's why I don't have weapons, because I just can't. If I would have popped the cap in his ass if I had understood what he said at the time he said it. And so on the way home, I was telling the ladies in the car, and one of them was the aunt of the victim. We're all victims. But the aunt of Henry Glover. And all those black women in the car said, he had the brass balls to tell you something like that. I'm like, yeah. And on tomorrow, I'm going to get him in the corner and say, look, sir, I need to say something to you. I'll tell y'all tomorrow what I'm going to say to you. It's going to be a nice, calm, measured response. But Honky's got some fucking nerve. You done shot my skin folks. We're in the court trying to seek justice. And you tell me, hey, I'm sorry, Christy Love, about what happened, but we want our homie to go home. Nobody but a honky would do that. A black person would not shoot somebody unjustifiably and then go to their family members and say, yeah, I'm sorry about what happened, but we want our partner to go home. The last 3 days, this man has been wearing these sandals to court. Who wears sandals to federal district court? And his toes are all jacked up. And I had been kind of looking at his toes. I'm thinking to myself, Lord, can't you put on some long pants and shoes and socks? You know what I mean? People don't know how to dress. I'm gonna start doing YouTube videos on proper etiquette. What constitutes proper and improper dress and whatever. And all evening I've been thinking, the devil is a liar. The devil is trying. Ain't nobody but the devil told that man to tell me something that crazy. Oh, he said we want David to come home and be with his family. This man got about 6 children. And I wanted to say, when Henry Glover was trying to escape, or flee, or evacuate from New Orleans, he was trying to be with his family too. Wasn't quite ready to tell his story, but some of my Facebook friends have said we got to hear what that man said to you, Miss Hester. So this is the unsanitized, unadulterated, no makeup version of what that honky told me. I don't like to use racial pejoratives, but that, I ain't gonna say all the curse words that's coming in my mind right now. Sometimes so many curse words come to my mind at one time that I make up a new curse word. Just the syllables and the consonants just get all jumbled in there. And I don't usually curse publicly, but that is some fucking nerve. And so what I was supposed to be sympathetic to his cause?